Chapter 21. The Canaanite, the king of Arad, who lived in the south, heard tell that Israel came by the way of Atharim, and he fought against Israel, and took some of them captive. Israel vowed a vow to the Lord, and said, If you will indeed deliver this people into my hand, then I will utterly destroy their cities. The Lord listened to the voice of Israel, and delivered up the Canaanites, and they utterly destroyed them and their cities, and the name of the place was called Hormah. They traveled from Mount Hor by the way to the Red Sea, to compass the land of Edom, and the soul of the people was much discouraged because of the way. The people spoke against God and against Moses. Why have you brought us up out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? For there is no bread and there is no water, and our soul loathes this light bread. The Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and many of the people of Israel died. The people came to Moses and said, We have sinned because we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord that he take away the serpents from us. Moses prayed for the people. The Lord said to Moses, Make a fiery serpent, and set it on a pole, and it shall happen that everyone who is bitten when he sees it shall live. Moses made a serpent of brass and set it on the standard, and it happened that if a serpent had bitten any man, when he looked to the serpent of brass, he lived. The children of Israel traveled and encamped in Oboth. They traveled from Oboth and encamped at Iyabarim, in the wilderness which is before Moab toward the sunrise. From there they traveled and encamped in the valley of Zered. From there they traveled and encamped on the other side of the Arnon, which is in the wilderness, that comes out of the border of the Amorites, for the Arnon is the border of Moab, between Moab and the Amorites. Therefore it is said in the book of the wars of the Lord, Bahab and Supha, the valleys of the Arnon, the slope of the valleys that inclines toward the dwelling of Ar, leans on the border of Moab. From there they traveled to Beer. That is the well of which the Lord said to Moses, Gather the people together, and I will give them water. Then sang Israel this song, Spring up, O well, sing to it, the well which the princes dug, which the nobles of the people dug, with the scepter and with their poles. From the wilderness they traveled to Mattanah, and from Mattanah to Nahaliel, and from Nahaliel to Barmoth, and from Barmoth to the valley that is in the field of Moab, to the top of Pisgah, which looks down on the desert. Israel sent messengers to Sihon, the king of the Amorites, saying, Let me pass through your land. We will not turn aside into field or into vineyard. We will not drink of the water of the wells. We will go by the king's highway until we have passed your border. Sihon would not allow Israel to pass through his border, but Sihon gathered all his people together and went out against Israel into the wilderness, and came to Jahaz, and he fought against Israel. Israel struck him with the edge of the sword, and possessed his land from the Arnon to the Jabbok, even to the children of Ammon, for the border of the children of Ammon was strong. Israel took all these cities, and Israel lived in all the cities of the Amorites, in Heshbon, and all the towns of it. For Heshbon was the city of Sihon the king of the Amorites, who had fought against the former king of Moab, and taken all his land out of his hand, even to the Arnon. Therefore those who speak in Proverbs say, Come you to Heshbon, let the city of Sihon be built and established. For a fire is gone out of Heshbon, a flame from the city of Sihon. It has devoured Ar of Moab, the lords of the high places of the Arnon. Woe to you, Moab! You are undone, people of Chemosh. He has given his sons as fugitives, his daughters into captivity. To Sihon, king of the Amorites, we have shot at them. Heshbon is perished even to Dibon. We have laid waste even to Nophah, which reaches to Medeba. Thus Israel lived in the land of the Amorites. Moses sent to spy out Jazer, and they took the towns of it, and drove out the Amorites who were there. They turned and went up by the way of Bashan, and Og the king of Bashan went out against them, he and all his people, to battle at Edrei. The Lord said to Moses, Don't fear him, for I have delivered him into your hand and all his people and his land, and you shall do to him as you did to Sihon, king of the Amorites, who lived at Heshbon. So they struck him and his sons and all his people, until there was none left him remaining, and they possessed his land. Chapter 22. The children of Israel traveled, and encamped in the plains of Moab beyond the Jordan at Jericho. Balak the son of Zippor saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. Moab was very afraid of the people, because they were many, and Moab was distressed because of the children of Israel. Moab said to the elders of Midian, "Now will this multitude lick up all that is around us, as the ox licks up the grass of the field." Balak the son of Zippor was king of Moab at that time. He sent messengers to Balaam the son of Beor, to Pethor, which is by the river, to the land of the children of his people, to call him, saying, "Behold, there is a people come out from Egypt, and they cover the surface of the earth, and they abide over against me. Please come now therefore and curse me this people, for they are too mighty for me. Perhaps I shall prevail that we may strike them, and I may drive them out of the land. For I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed." The elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed with the rewards of divination in their hand, and they came to Balaam, and spoke to him the words of Balak. He said to them, "Lodge here this night, and I will bring you word again, as the Lord shall speak to me." And the princes of Moab abode with Balaam. God came to Balaam and said, "Who are these men with you?" Balaam said to God, "Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has sent to me, saying, Behold, the people that has come out of Egypt, they cover the surface of the earth. Come now and curse them. Perhaps I shall be able to fight against them, and shall drive them out." God said to Balaam, "You shall not go with them. You shall not curse this people, for they are blessed." Balaam rose up in the morning and said to the princes of Balak, "Go back to your land, for the Lord refuses to give me leave to go with you." The princes of Moab rose up, and they went to Balak and said, "Balaam refuses to come with us." Balak sent more princes, more honorable than the first. They came to Balaam and said to him, "Thus says Balak the son of Zippor, Please let nothing hinder you from coming to me, for I will promote you to a very great honor, and whatever you say to me I will do. Please come therefore and curse this people for me." Balaam answered the servants of Balak, "If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I can't go beyond the word of the Lord my God to do less or more. Now therefore please wait also here this night, that I may know what the Lord will speak to me." God came to Balaam at night and said to him, "If the men are come to call you, rise up, go with them, but only the word which I speak to you, that shall you do." Balaam rose up in the morning, and saddled his donkey, and went with the princes of Moab. God's anger was kindled because he went, and the angel of the Lord placed himself in the way for an adversary against him. Now he was riding on his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. The donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, with his sword drawn in his hand, and the donkey turned aside out of the way and went into the field, and Balaam struck the donkey to turn her into the way. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path between the vineyards, a wall being on this side, and a wall on that side. The donkey saw the angel of the Lord, and she thrust herself to the wall, and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall, and he struck her again. The angel of the Lord went further, and stood in a narrow place, where there was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. The donkey saw the angel of the Lord, and she lay down under Balaam. And Balaam's anger was kindled, and he struck the donkey with his staff. The Lord opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam, "What have I done to you, that you have struck me these 3 times?" Balaam said to the donkey, "Because you have mocked me. I would there were a sword in my hand, for now I would kill you." The donkey said to Balaam, "Am I not your donkey, on which you have ridden all your life long to this day? Have I ever done this to you before?" And he said, "No." Then the Lord opened the eyes of Balaam, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, with his sword drawn in his hand, and he bowed his head, and fell on his face. The angel of the Lord said to him, "Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? Behold, I have come forth as an adversary, because your way is perverse before me. And the donkey saw me, and turned aside before me these 3 times. Unless ye had turned aside from me, surely now I had even slain you, and saved her alive. Balaam said to the angel of the Lord, I have sinned, for I didn't know that you stood in the way against me. Now therefore, if it displease you, I will go back again. The angel of the Lord said to Balaam, Go with the men, but only the word that I shall speak to you, that shall you speak. So Balaam went with the princes of Balak. When Balak heard that Balaam was come, he went out to meet him to the city of Moab, which is on the border of the Arnon, which is in the utmost part of the border. Balak said to Balaam, Didn't I earnestly send to you to call you? Why didn't you come to me? Am I not able indeed to promote you to honor? Balaam said to Balak, Behold, I have come to you. Have I now any power at all to speak anything? The word that God puts in my mouth, that shall I speak. Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kiriath-Huzoth. Balak sacrificed oxen and sheep, and sent to Balaam, and to the princes who were with him. It happened in the morning that Balak took Balaam, and brought him up to the high places of Baal, and he saw from there the utmost part of the people. Chapter 23. Balaam said to Balak, Build me here 7 altars, and prepare me 7 bulls and 7 rams. Balak did as Balaam had spoken, and Balak and Balaam offered on every altar a bull and a ram. Balaam said to Balak, Stand by your burnt offering, and I will go. Perhaps the Lord will come to meet me, and whatever he shows me I will tell you. He went to a bare height. God met Balaam, and he said to him, I have prepared the 7 altars, and I have offered up a bull and a ram on every altar. The Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth, and said, Return to Balak, and thus shall you speak. He returned to him, and behold, he was standing by his burnt offering, he and all the princes of Moab. He took up his parable, and said, From Aram has Balak brought me, the king of Moab from the mountains of the east. Come, curse me Jacob, come, and defy Israel. How shall I curse, whom God has not cursed? How shall I defy, whom the Lord has not defied? For from the top of the rocks I see him, from the hills I see him. Behold, it is a people that dwells alone, and shall not be reckoned among the nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob, or number the 4th part of Israel? Let me die the death of the righteous. Let my last end be like his. Balak said to Balaam, What have you done to me? I took you to curse my enemies, and behold, you have blessed them altogether. He answered and said, Must I not take heed to speak that which the Lord puts in my mouth? Balak said to him, Please come with me to another place, from where you may see them. You shall but see the small part of them, and shall not see them all, and curse them from there. He took him into the field of Zophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 altars, and offered up a bull and a ram on every altar. He said to Balak, Stand here by your burnt offering, while I meet the Lord yonder. The Lord met Balaam, and put a word in his mouth, and said, Return to Balak, and thus shall you speak. He came to him, and behold, he was standing by his burnt offering, and the princes of Moab with him. Balak said to him, What has the Lord spoken? He took up his parable, and said, Rise up, Balak, and hear. Listen to me, you son of Zippor. God is not a man that he should lie, neither the son of man that he should repent. Has he said, and will he not do it? Or has he spoken, and will he not make it good? Behold, I have received commandment to bless. He has blessed, and I can't reverse it. He has not seen iniquity in Jacob, neither has he seen perverseness in Israel. The Lord his God is with him, the shout of a king is among them. God brings them forth out of Egypt. He has, as it were, the strength of the wild ox. Surely there is no enchantment with Jacob, neither is there any divination with Israel. Now shall it be said of Jacob and of Israel, What has God done? Behold, the people rises up as a lioness, as a lion does he lift himself up. He shall not lie down until he eats of the prey, and drinks the blood of the slain. Balak said to Balaam, Neither curse them at all, nor bless them at all. But Balaam answered Balak, Didn't I tell you, saying, All that the Lord speaks, that I must do? Balak said to Balaam, Come now, I will take you to another place. Perhaps it will please God that you may curse them from there. Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, that looks down on the desert. Balaam said to Balak, Build me here 7 altars, and prepare me here 7 bulls and 7 rams. Balak did as Balaam had said, and offered up a bull and a ram on every altar. Chapter 24. When Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel, he didn't go as at the other times to meet with enchantments, but he set his face toward the wilderness. Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Israel dwelling according to their tribes, and the Spirit of God came on him. He took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor says, the man whose eye was closed says, He says who hears the words of God, who sees the vision of the Almighty, falling down and having his eyes open. How goodly are your tents, Jacob, your tents, O Israel! As valleys are they spread forth, as gardens by the riverside, as aloes which the Lord has planted, as cedar trees beside the waters. Water shall flow from his buckets, his seed shall be in many waters. His king shall be higher than Agag, his kingdom shall be exalted. God brings him forth out of Egypt. He has, as it were, the strength of the wild ox. He shall eat up the nations as his adversaries. He shall break their bones in pieces, and smite them through with his arrows. He couched, he lay down as a lioness who shall rouse him up? Blessed be every one who blesses you, cursed be every one who curses you. Balak's anger was kindled against Balaam, and he struck his hands together, and Balak said to Balaam, I called you to curse my enemies, and behold, you have altogether blessed them these 3 times. Therefore now flee to your place. I thought to promote you to great honor, but behold, the Lord has kept you back from honor. Balaam said to Balak, Didn't I also tell your messengers whom you sent to me, saying, If Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I can't go beyond the word of the Lord to do either good or bad of my own mind. What the Lord speaks, that will I speak. Now, behold, I go to my people. Come, and I will show you what this people shall do to your people in the latter days. He took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor says, the man whose eye was closed says, He says who hears the words of God, and knows the knowledge of the Most High, who sees the vision of the Almighty, falling down and having his eyes open. I see him, but not now. I see him, but not near. There shall come forth a star out of Jacob, a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall strike through the corners of Moab, and break down all the sons of tumult. Edom shall be a possession, and Seir also shall be a possession, who were his enemies, while Israel does valiantly. Out of Jacob shall one have dominion. He shall destroy the remnant from the city. He looked at Amalek, and took up his parable, and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall come to destruction. He looked at the Kenite, and took up his parable, and said, Strong is your dwelling place, your nest is set in the rock. Nevertheless Cain shall be wasted, until Asher shall carry you away captive. He took up his parable, and said, Alas, who shall live when God does this? But ships shall come from the coast of Kittim. They shall afflict Asher, and shall afflict Eber. He also shall come to destruction. Balaam rose up and went, and returned to his place, and Balak also went his way. Chapter 25. Israel abode in Shittim, and the people began to play the prostitute with the daughters of Moab, for they called the people to the sacrifices of their gods, and the people ate, and bowed down to their gods. Israel joined himself to Baal Peor, and the anger of the Lord was kindled against Israel. The Lord said to Moses, Take all the chiefs of the people, and hang them up to the Lord before the sun, that the fierce anger of the Lord may turn away from Israel. Moses turned to the judges of Israel, "Kill every one his men who have joined themselves to Baal Peor." Behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought to his brothers a Midianite woman in the sight of Moses, and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel, while they were weeping at the door of the tent of meeting. When Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, saw it, he rose up from the midst of the congregation, and took a spear in his hand, and he went after the man of Israel into the pavilion, and thrust both of them through, the man of Israel and the woman through her body. So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel. Those who died by the plague were 24,000. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, has turned my wrath away from the children of Israel, in that he was jealous with my jealousy among them, so that I didn't consume the children of Israel in my jealousy. Therefore say, Behold, I give to him my covenant of peace, and it shall be to him and to his seed after him, the covenant of an everlasting priesthood, because he was jealous for his God, and made atonement for the children of Israel." Now the name of the man of Israel that was slain, who was slain with the Midianite woman, was Zimri, the son of Salu, a prince of a father's house among the Simeonites. The name of the Midianite woman who was slain was Cozbi, the daughter of Zur. He was head of the people of a father's house in Midian. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Vex the Midianites and strike them, for they vex you with their wiles, with which they have deceived you in the matter of Baal Peor, and in the matter of Cozbi, the daughter of the prince of Midian, their sister, who was slain on the day of the plague in the matter of Peor."